Okay, so earlier today I called into. I don't know if any of you listen to Trunk Nation on SiriusXM Volume. That's the show hosted by Eddie Trunk. But I called in today. You see, a couple of days ago on his show on Trunk Nation, Eddie Trunk was talking about these bands that everyone loves, but you never got what all the love was about. And you didn't get why all these bands always had all this love heaped onto them, and you don't get why these bands are so acclaimed and loved. And I wanted to call in on that show that day, but they never got to my call because the lines were so busy. So they never got to me. So I called back today because today was Free for All Friday, and so I called in to Eddie Trunk to Trunk Nation to tell Eddie what I thought for my pick, the band that I always never got all the love for, which was Nirvana. I never, I told him, Nirvana was never really a bad band. Dave Grohl in particular, he's a really cool guy, and I think he's awesome. And so I have much respect for Dave Grohl, and he's my man. I just think he's the man, and I think he's awesome. So I love Dave Grohl, but I never got the way people fawn and worship Kurt Cobain. I never got that. I never got why people, all this love and fawning and worshiping of Kurt Cobain. I never got that. It was ridiculous, and I never got that. So Eddie Trunk cut me off before I was able to finish making my point, and I had a lot to get off my chest. So he cut me off before I got finished making my point. So I'm going to make this video here, and hopefully I'm going to send this to Eddie Trunk to finish my point here. So this video here, I'm going to finish making my point in this video. So first of all, Kurt Cobain was not the spokesman for Generation X. Okay, Kurt Cobain even went on record saying that he wasn't the spokesman for Generation X, and yet people label him the spokesman for Generation X, which I never got, which I thought was stupid. So and if you're a member of Generation X, what if you're a member of Generation X and you don't even like Nirvana? That would make you feel really stupid. What if you don't even like Nirvana? What if you prefer Alice in Chains? So if you're a member of Generation X and you don't like Nirvana, and Kurt Cobain is like the spokesman of your generation, you're going to feel really stupid. So I never got that, and I never got, people say, well, that song Smells Like Teen Spirit, that's the anthem for Generation X. I've heard people say, that the lyrics to Smells Like Teen Spirit perfectly capture what they perfectly capture what Generation X is going through and all this other bullshit, and I never got that either. Aside from the title, okay, Smells Like Teen Spirit, I get it. The title of the song, Smells Like Teen Spirit, that goes to your generation. But the lyrics to that song itself, the lyrics are how in the fuck are the lyrics to Smells Like Teen Spirit? How do they perfectly describe what your generation is going through? The lyrics to the song are really vague. Think about it. A mulatto, an albino, a mosquito, albino, my libido, whatever. What the fuck does that have to do with Generation X? It has nothing to do with Generation X. or an albino mulatto, a mosquito, my libido. What the fuck does that have anything to do with Generation X? It has nothing to do with Generation X. But people say, oh, it's the anthem for my generation, and it perfectly describes what my generation is going through. No, it doesn't. It's like really vague, and I never got that. So I never got that. So people just make Kurt Cobain out to be Bob Dylan or something, and and I remember when Kurt Cobain died, it was like the way people reacted when Kurt Cobain died. It was like it was like the Kennedy assassination for them. People just when they found out that he was dead from after blowing his brains out with the shotgun, people acted as if it were the Kennedy assassination or something. You had all these people crying, oh, he really spoke to me. He really spoke to what I was going through. And it's like, give me a fucking break. And it was, especially MTV and those two cunts, Kurt Loder and Tabitha Soren. I mean, they really acted as if this was like Lincoln getting assassinated or something. And it's like, give me a fucking break. Meanwhile, Alice in Chains never got the recognition and respect they deserved. Alice in Chains is probably the most underrated of the grunge bands from the 90s. They never got the recognition and respect they deserved. So when Lane Staley died, it was like, so when Lane Staley died in 2002, it was like, oh, that's too bad. Next. Meanwhile, when Kurt Cobain died, it was like, a national day of mourning. And it was like, so Nirvana was like extremely overrated, and I love Dave Grohl, but Kurt Cobain, people just, the way people fall over him and worship him, and the way people reacted when he died, like it was the Kennedy assassination all over again for their generation. Oh, I'm so sad. He really spoke to what I was going through. Come on, give me a fucking break. And MTV hyped that shit, and they shoved Nirvana down everyone's throats. And MTV acted as if, Kurt Cobain dying was, the Lincoln assassination, with Kurt Loder and Tabitha Soren, and, this just, and then what, and again, when Lane Staley died, it was like, oh, wow, that's too bad. Next. So it was like, so my point here is that Nirvana, they were okay, but come on. They weren't that great. They weren't, the fucking, they weren't, they weren't that great, okay? Kurt Cobain was not Gandhi, okay? Meanwhile, Alice in Chains never got the recognition and respect they deserved. They never got the acclaim they deserved. When Lane Staley died, when Lane Staley died, when Lane Staley died, he wasn't even included in the in memoriam segment on the Grammys telecast that year. Meanwhile, Kurt Cobain, it was like, oh, it was like, the Lincoln assassination or something. So I never got why Nirvana, I never got why Nirvana was so revered and so fawned over. Meanwhile, Alice in Chains, it was like no one cares. So I really want to get that off my chest, and this is a short video, but I just really, people really, the way people, I always thought Nirvana was extremely overrated and Alice in Chains is extremely underrated. And Alice in Chains never got the recognition and respect they deserved. Me, and they'll probably never get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Meanwhile, Nirvana got inducted the first year eligible, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but when Lane Staley died on the Grammys telecast that year, they didn't even include Lane Staley in the in memoriam segment. But when Kurt Cobain died, it was like the Kennedy assassination, and okay, so I get it. I get that Kurt Cobain was still at the height of his success when he died, as opposed to Lane Staley, whose time had come and gone when he died. But still, Alice in Chains was a wonderful band, probably my favorite of the grunge bands from the 90s, and they never got the recognition and respect they deserved, and they should have, and they really should have, because they were an awesome band. Meanwhile, Kurt Cobain is, JFK and Gandhi and Lincoln all rolled into one. If you believe, MTV and Kurt Roland Tavis on the rest of these assholes. So, and then of course you have, Soundgarden. Recently Chris Cornell died and that sucked. Chris Cornell killed himself and that sucked. So, but that's another topic. But it's just, I just wanted to talk about how Nirvana is just extremely overrated and Alice in Chains is extremely underrated. And all this Kurt Cobain worship and fawning over him, I never got it, and it made me sick. Meanwhile, Lane Staley when he died, no one gave a shit. Okay, so that's my video, and that's all I have to say. So it's a short one. That's all I really, because there wasn't much really to say. So that's all I had to say. I just want to get that off my chest. Okay, that's all I had to say. See you guys later. Bye.